Log entry number 1179, Archivist Drexier, Yavari Collective, Aegis 7 arrival, Day 1. The stars do not speak here. They watch, silent and distant, over a planet that should have crumbled long ago. Aegis 7 floats like a corpse in the void, cold, jagged, and steeped in quiet malice. My vessel descended through clouds thick with metallic ash, guided only by the decaying signals of an ancient Terran distress beacon still pulsing weakly after 2 centuries. I came alone. The Directorate forbade entry. My superiors warned me. The Terrans are not to be studied, only avoided. But fear is not science. Silence is not truth. My name is Drexier. I am Yavari. I am here to observe. The outpost lies in ruin, half sunken into permafrost. Charred blast doors yawn open like jaws cracked from the inside. No transmission. No heat signature. Just long dead steel, fractured alloy, and a low-frequency hum that drills through bone. I step inside. The entry corridor is narrow and designed to intimidate. Jagged shadows cast by skeletal supports stretch down the hallway like grasping limbs. Human design, crude, paranoid, yet unmistakably purposeful. Their walls aren't decorated. They're armored. Reinforced with layers of ceramic plating, some of which still bear impact scars. They weren't trying to keep something out. They were keeping something in. Scattered debris litters the path. Ammunition canisters, a rusted ration kit, a child's plastic toy molded into the shape of a tank. The toy's wheels are melted. Nearby, a wall bears the outline of a humanoid figure burned into the metal, a vaporized life, preserved in silhouette. I record everything. Every scratch, every stain. Truth lives in the overlooked. A chamber opens to the right. Storage room, perhaps. Empty racks. Shattered cases. And on the floor, a helmet. Not Terran. I crouch. The skull within is alien, elongated and reptilian. My interface identifies it as Zarathi, a species known for their subjugation tactics, now extinct. One clean hole in the helmet's front. No signs of resistance. Whatever ended the Zarathi didn't fight. It executed. I rise. The silence grows oppressive, broken only by my own breathing. My exosuit adjusts oxygen levels automatically, but I feel as though I'm suffocating. Farther in, the temperature drops. The hallway narrows, then opens into a large central chamber. Here, I find the relic that drew me, the Terran war table. It's massive, 5 meters across, circular, surrounded by shattered command consoles. The surface is scarred, pitted with claw marks and scorched burns. A single phrase is carved deeply into the alloy, repeating in concentric circles, in dozens of languages. We warned you. I touch the engraving. My translator twitches, lagging, as though reluctant to decode the words. The lighting here is dim, powered by some deep, stubborn capacitor still humming beneath the floor. A low vibration, almost a heartbeat. Behind me, static cracks over the comm. My ship's AI, Lennox, whispers. Interference detected. Proximity alert triggered. Biological presence unknown. I freeze. Movement, just a flicker, in the shadows to the left. I turn, scanner up, but there's nothing. No heat signature. No electromagnetic pulse. Lennox, confirm source. Static. Then silence. My instincts tell me to leave. My mind says otherwise. I move deeper. In the lower levels, the air thickens with frost and dust. Pipes rattle faintly, as if remembering some long-dead rhythm. The bodies here aren't buried, they're integrated. Bones fused into walls, some melted into floor panels. This wasn't a battle. This was an event. And still, no human corpses. Just remnants. Traces. On a control console, I find another message, crudely etched with what appears to be a blade tip. One of US stayed. Before I can analyze further, alarms flare, silent, red, internal. The lights above blink once, twice, then die. My helmet flashes. Neurotoxin detected, unknown source. Filters deploy automatically. I hold my breath anyway. Something moves behind me. Not fast, slow. Confident. I turn. Nothing. Then, pain, sudden and sharp. A prickling sensation in my neck. My limbs go heavy. The ground rises to meet me. My vision narrows to a tunnel. I reach for the emergency stim, but my fingers won't obey. Darkness floods in, thick and absolute. Unknown recording, source, human biosignal intercept, Aegis 7. A voice. Low. Calm. Human. Archivist Drexier, Yavari Collective. I read your file. Footsteps. You came here looking for truth. A pause. Breath. You found me instead. The last thing I hear before full blackout is a single sentence. Pray your kind doesn't come back. Darkness. But not the kind found in space. This is closer. Intimate. Like being swallowed by something that remembers the taste of you. My eyelids flutter, heavy with sedatives. My wrists are bound, but not tightly. I'm strapped into a chair, metal, cold, military-grade restraint, Terran make. I recognize the design from war archives. There's no struggle. Resistance is already factored in. A single light flickers to life above me. The room is square. Bare walls. No windows. One door sealed. Across from me sits a man. Human. He leans forward, arms resting casually on his knees. His face is carved from weathered resolve, deep lines, sun-scorched skin, eyes that have seen extinction. Not old, not young. Timeless in the way only soldiers become. His uniform is black, unmarked. A ghost without a banner. You're awake, he says flatly. My mouth is dry. You're Roland Kane. He smirks slightly. So the name survived. Cute. He stands and paces slowly. You Yavari have always been good at preserving trivia. Not so much at understanding what any of it means. I came for knowledge, not judgment. Kane stops. You came poking through bones. Looking for stories. Tell me, do you write them before or after you decide who the villain is? I keep my voice steady. The collective believes in truth. We record, not rewrite. He chuckles, humorless. You think you're a neutral observer? You came here with a conclusion ready. You just needed blood to color it. I don't respond. Not out of fear, but out of calculation. Let him speak. He circles the room, glancing up at the ceiling camera. This place isn't a ruin. It's a monument. Not to what we did. He turns sharply to me. But to why we stopped. I don't understand. No, he says. You don't. And you shouldn't. He presses a button on the wall. A screen descends. Static at first, then grainy footage plays, combat helmet cam. A Terran soldier charges through a collapsing trench, bullets screaming past. Alien shrieks. Fire. Screams. The soldier doesn't hesitate. His voice cracks through the calm. We hold. We burn. No retreat. Next clip, a woman, human young. Her face is bloodied. She carries a wounded enemy, Zelly species, tentacled, gasping, through a burning corridor. Another explosion. She uses her own body to shield the alien. Dies doing it. Kane turns to me. Heroism? Horror? Pick a label. It won't help you. The images shift again. This time, prisoners. An alien ambassador. Torture. Executions. No trial. No remorse. I clench my jaw. Why are you showing me this? Because you need to stop romanticizing the idea of humanity. We're not your final riddle. We're the locked door your kind shouldn't open. Kane moves to a table in the corner and sets something down in front of me. It's a weapon, compact, black, with strange etchings carved into its casing. This was built by a 12-year-old on Mars. During the Siege of 10 Suns. Killed 3 slavers with it before the Directorate found her. I stare at it, disturbed. And you kept it? No, he says. She did. Until she died. Then I did. He sits again, voice quieter now. You think we vanished because we lost the war? We didn't. We left. We chose silence. Because the more of us the galaxy met, the worse things got. You believe humans are a threat? I know we are. He leans forward, eyes locking mine. The difference is we learn to be afraid of ourselves. Your people haven't. Silence stretches long. Finally I ask, so why stay here? Why not leave this planet? Kane shrugs. Someone had to keep watch. Make sure no one got curious. Like you? A long pause. I lower my gaze. I didn't mean offense. Only to understand. Kane stands again. Understanding's not free. There's a price. You still want to pay it? I nod. He walks to the door, keys a command. The locks disengage with a hiss. Then follow me, he says. The corridor beyond is darker, colder. The air smells of ozone and memory. Lights flicker in sequence as we walk. It feels less like a facility and more like a tomb. We pass a wall lined with handprints, dozens of species, all scorched into the steel. Some are labeled. Others aren't. Kane doesn't comment. Eventually, we stop before a massive blast door. He keys in a genetic sequence. A moment later, the door splits open with a thunderous groan. Inside, the vault. Massive, circular, lined with viewing terminals. Suspended in the center, a black obelisk rotating slowly in anti-grav. From it radiate glowing tendrils of data, recordings, memories, simulations. This is everything, Kane says. Every war. Every horror. Every choice. The good, the terrible, and the unspeakable. Not censored. Not filtered. Raw history. Our real face. Why keep it here? To remind us. To remind me. Of what happens when we forget. I approach one of the terminals. My fingers hover over the interface. Kane speaks again, voice low. You wanted truth, Archivist. Just be sure you're not asking for something you can't return. I hesitate. But only for a second. I touch the terminal. The terminal flickered to life beneath my touch. I expected data. Records. A stream of neatly indexed history I could catalog, analyze, file away. What came instead was a scream. Raw. Human. Agonized. Not sound, memory. The chamber darkened. The air changed. I stood, but not in the vault. I was somewhere else, no longer observer, but participant. The Earth's simulation flickered into place. I stood on a ruined street beneath a sky choked with ash. The heat scorched my skin through the filter of the Nero relay. I saw men with soot-covered faces hauling corpses into pits, heard children crying without understanding why their mothers didn't move. A war. Not against aliens. Against themselves. The simulation shifted. Now a Martian colony. Food riots. Mothers stabbing each other over protein pills. A man dangling from a broken antenna, a placard hanging around his neck that read, "Traitor." And then, silence. A single figure walking through it all. A human, tall, gaunt, hollow-eyed. Carrying a wounded enemy child on his back. He looked at me, through me, and whispered, "We remembered. That's why we left." The simulation faded. The terminal released me. My knees buckled. I fell forward, catching myself with shaking hands. Kane stood over me, expression unreadable. "You asked why we disappeared," he said. "You just saw it. We didn't retreat. We looked into the mirror and finally understood what we were." I struggled to speak. "You buried yourselves. With your own guilt." "No." He knelt, voice quiet. "We quarantined ourselves." He rose and walked to the center of the chamber. The black obelisk still hovered, humming softly, like a restrained storm. "Truth isn't clean, Archivist. It doesn't liberate. Sometimes it kills. We became too good at surviving. Too adaptable. We didn't just win wars, we ended species." I forced myself upright, legs unsteady. You claim it as regret. But I see preparation. Kane looked over his shoulder. Exactly. You see it now. That's what frightens me. Then why show me? I asked. Why risk exposure? Because someone always comes. Always. And you're not the last. You just got here first. He reached into his coat and produced a small object. A data crystal. Deep green, encoded with Terran security. He offered it. Everything you've seen. Every file. Every record. Take it. I stared at it. He added, You have a choice. Return with this and tell your collective. Stir the galaxy into panic. Or erase it. Let the nightmare remain legend. I didn't move. Let me ask you something, he said, stepping closer. What do you think happens if the Concord learns the full truth? I met his eyes. They'll try to contain you. He gave a bitter laugh. They'll try to fix us. Diplomats. Ethics committees. Enlightened speeches from species who've never bled out on frozen soil. And when that fails, they'll act. Because deep down, they fear what we represent. He held up the crystal again. You asked for understanding? But understanding us means understanding what you're not. I took the crystal. Its weight was negligible. Its meaning wasn't. Later, he walked me to the surface. The wind had picked up. Ash flurried through the air like dead snow. We stood at the edge of the landing site. My ship, miraculously untouched, blinked a soft welcome. Kane didn't follow past the perimeter. You won't warn anyone? I asked. I'm not here to stop you. Just to make you think. He looked out toward the horizon, to the jagged ruins of a city long turned to dust. I stay here, he said. Because someone has to remember what silence costs. You're a warden. He nodded. And a prisoner. I climbed the ramp to my vessel. Turned, looked back. Kane. He met my gaze. Do you believe you're monsters? He was quiet for a moment. No, he said. I believe we became what we had to, and never stopped. Log entry number 1180, final. I am Archivist Drexier of the Yavari Collective. I write this from orbit above Aegis 7. My mission was to uncover the truth about the Terrans. I have succeeded. And I am terrified. They are not the villains we imagined. Nor are they saviors. They are a species that stared too long into themselves and survived the gaze. In doing so, they became something alien to the rest of us. Something we're not ready to understand. In my hands is a crystal that could shift the balance of power. Reveal the myth as reality. Unmask a darkness carefully hidden behind legend. I hover over the console, crystal in place, one command from transmitting everything. But I remove it. Some truths serve only to destroy. Not because they are lies, but because they are more real than we are ready to face. I secure the crystal in a sealed archive. Classified. Untouched. I leave behind a warning, not a record. I met a human once. Pray you never meet one.